Universal principle behind network marketing is this: not whether it works for you, but whether it can be duplicated by everyone. Let me say that again. Number one universal principle is not whether something that works for you, but it's something that can be duplicated by everyone. And let me tell you what I mean by this, okay? The MLM graveyard is filled with salespeople. They crash and burn. Here's what sales means. Sales means that you can use the gift of gab, you can use big words, you can use sales techniques to convince somebody to buy something. Does that make sense? That means that your level of production is totally dependent upon your ability alone. And let me tell you why that doesn't work. One big reason is most of the free world is scared to death of rejection. They will equate rejection with jumping into a pit of rattlesnakes. They will run the other way faster than fast can be, right? Am I correct? If you think about it, you get rejected your whole life. I mean, heck, I get rejected. I've been rejected more than anybody in this room, I promise you, right? But I embrace it, though. Because people that don't do what we do, I feel sorry for them. I mean, my conviction is that great that I literally feel sorry for them because I know there's nothing better out there for the average person to become better than average. Does that make sense? So it becomes a big belief system. So again, all of you super sales types, right? Please get dumb like me. Make it very simple, right? So if what you're doing to build the business, if you can't hop on an airplane and teach somebody 600 miles away that you've never met, if you can't get them doing the same thing that you're getting and you're doing, then guess what? Your business will not grow, I promise you. Think about this. Look around this room. You have people from different ages, right? Different educational backgrounds, different belief systems, right? Different thought processes, different levels of experience in this industry. So through all that, guess what? You have to boil it down to a very easy common denominator that anybody can follow and understand. Does that make sense? This is why the Diamond Rush Guide is in place. Because when I first got started in this industry, I'll tell you something. Well, I was ignorance on fire. Woo! I was signing them up left and right, right? But they're dropping out faster than I was signing them up. I was doing it. Don't you worry about it. Just give me your list of your friends. I'll take care of it. Right? I signed up 30 people in a month, and literally, 10 would drop out the next month. And then I figured it out. It took me about 30 days to figure out that this rodeo wasn't going to work like this, right? That I needed to reevaluate what I was doing. And keep in mind, I didn't have a mentor at all. And let me explain something to you too. One of the biggest advocates, one of the biggest great things that can happen to you in here is to rely upon your experienced upline support. I promise you they will shorten your learning curve. Does that make sense? Don't try to figure it out on your own. You need to make sure that you read the Diamond Rush Guide, and if you're not where you need to be, you need to go back and read it again, because what you're doing wrong, the answers are in there. Does that make sense? Okay. The whole system is made of 4 easy steps. Number 1 is inviting prospects. Have to talk to people, right? Have to ask them. And we're going to go through each step. Number 2 is to have them either watch a live presentation. We do many a day, right, as everybody knows, online, or attend a business opportunity presentation like this. People in different parts of the world use different strategies. Some say they like to go to meetings like this. Totally okay with that. Some say they like to just invite people to online presentations. That works faster. Totally okay with that. Does everybody understand that? So either or. The next one, this is where a lot of people don't get, and I'm going to go into it. Following up with a 3-way call. Don't act like you're allergic to 3-way calls. Some like 3-way calls. What is that? If you learn how to master it, it will do you good. And you have to understand, who cooks in here? Raise your hand if you cook. What happens if you take something out of the recipe? Tastes bad, right? Hint, 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 hint. Right? Follow up on three-way calls. And the last one, which is so very critical, is to get people plugged in. System stands for save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. That's what a system means. If you don't get people plugged in to a system which can be duplicated, and I'm talking about from the moment they get started, you need to do that. And let me explain something to you too. Let me tell you what the path of the normal person takes in this industry, right? They sign somebody up, right? Y'all celebrate for the next week. Yes! I got him. Bob, my fast start bonus took 3 minutes and 8 seconds instead of 3 minutes. What's the matter? Y'all know what I'm talking about. And you leave this new person to try to figure stuff out on their own. You have to understand something. Do you ever watch on TV the first 48 hours? Do you know what that is? It's a police show. I absolutely love it. They follow homicide detectives around in different cities, correct? And they say if they capture a murder suspect in the first 48 hours, the time to solve the crime is in, because the chances of catching them right afterwards, it goes down with time. Does that make sense? Okay. The same thing happens in this industry. When you sponsor somebody new, I call it 72 hours fly or die. What you do with that person in the first 72 hours will dictate very quickly how fast or if they will reach success at all. The second they get started is when they're most excited, right? So you have to instantly turn their non-revenue producing habits into revenue producing habits like this. And what do I mean by that? Okay? If I asked anybody in this room before you became involved in Talkfusion, every single one of you would try to convince me how busy you are. I'm busy. I'm busy watching Texas Walker Ranger at 8 o'clock. Right? I'm busy watching Three Stooges reruns at 9:45. Right? Everybody follow me? Okay? So what you have to do is instantly teach people action steps to get their business started. You have to take whatever they're doing in their life, which is not creating revenue, which is not creating dreams for them, and get them to start taking baby steps. Does that make sense? So what's the first baby step you have to do? Next slide. Just start a list. It's really simple. Easy. So who are you looking for? People want more than what they currently have. People want to go places they've never been. People want to help change lives they haven't helped before. People are tired of being average. People who still have dreams and are willing to do something about it. And people who get very excited about earning extra money. Does that sum it up? Thank you. Notice you do not see on there grouchy people, miserable people, right? People that spend their whole day complaining, people that have negative attitudes. I can't stand negative people. I just can't. Because I've traveled the world enough. If you're not happy for living in this country, then get out. I mean, we all have our problems here. It's not a perfect place, but Nowhere's perfect, right? You with me? At least we have the opportunity to do something about it, though. People should be thankful for that. So that's who you're looking for. Positive-minded people who have just not found the right vehicle yet. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. Okay? That's who you want to go after. You begin with a top 20 list. Here's why you don't tell people, write out 300 names. Right off the bat, you don't do that. Here's what happens. There's two types of people. I call them grinders. Grinders, when you get in this business, grinders are people that stand by to stand by. Here, Bob, I'm reading the comp plan 48 times. Okay. These are real life examples, guys. I'm not teasing you. Bob, I need 14 different template categories. What about nightclub templates? I can't get my business started until we have nightclub templates. No, I'm telling you, these are real life stories. This ship's going down, I'm telling you. What about entertainment templates? I need them. What does a template have to do with building a business? Nothing. Nothing. I'm telling you, zero, nothing. Right? Here's another grinder activity, right? Man, I've been on the Diamond Rush training 4 weeks in a row. Well, how many people have you invited? Well, none. What is that doing for you? Nothing. Does everybody see what I'm saying? Whatever your dream, I always find out and make it a point to find out what people's dreams are. The house, the car, vacations. Because I'll ask them, are we getting closer to that brand new house of yours by what you're doing right now? Come on now. And the way that you know is if they're making money, they're going in the right direction. If they're not, then they're not. It's not too hard to figure out, correct? Would everybody agree with me there? Okay. So, top 20 list is this. Those you are closest to, look in your cell phone, your address book, etc. Don't prejudge anybody. Let me tell you why. Couple different things. What's this business called? What do we call this? Relationship marketing. Correct? It's not stranger marketing. Stranger is danger. People that you have relationships with, based upon your relationship with them, most of them will at least give you an ear, correct? The second that you step out of that warm market and you go into stranger marketing, you've made the transition from relationship marketing into sales. The second you cross that line. And that's dangerous because most of you can't sell. Does that make sense to you? So use your warm market. The average person, next slide please. Memory jogger, they say, knows about 300 people by first name at least. Correct? Me, I know tons of people. I love meeting people. I meet people all the time. And I don't pitch everybody that I meet because I build a relationship with them. Does that make sense to you? Who couldn't stand to have more friends? Does that make sense? Everybody needs more friends. So start to build your prospect list. And here's something else too, okay? You know about 300 people on average. And how many do you really need to be qualified in a binary? 2. I mean, come on. Really? And I'm going to tell you the numbers that you need later. How many times have you heard people say, I don't know anybody? Come on. Or I already tried to recruit them into company XYZ. How many times? Okay, listen. Don't put yourself as a member of the NFL club. No friends left or no further leads. Don't do it. You always meet new people. The average person, you're going to the dry cleaners. You're going to the kids' soccer games. going to and from work, you'll meet 15 to 20 new people a week on average, at least. Write down their names, get their email addresses, get their phone number. Those, I call them FTBs, friends to be. Right? Does that make sense? So let's get this excuse out of the way right here. So if you know 300 people on average, right? And you meet 10 to 15 people a week, does anybody ever have an excuse that they don't know anybody to talk about the business? Right? That was a question I asked. Right, no excuses, right? Because what you're going to find by the time I go through this, and I'm going to ask you pivotal questions along the way, right? I'm going to totally take away any of your objections along the way. Because the best way to overcome an objection is before you get it. So what I'm going to do, listen, I'm even going to tell you what I'm going to do to you. All you professional excuse makers, you won't have an excuse. Yeah, you too, Martin. Yep. Martin raised his hand. See, that's what guilty people do when you say it. That's me. I confess. You'll have nothing left by the time I'm done. You have nothing left but answers. Does that make sense? And wisdom.